Okay, hopefully this is recording. I feel a bit odd talking to myself, as normally I'm here with Neil. But it's an early morning jaunt. It's only 5:30 in the morning. Trying to get some decent weather. So hopefully you should see my heart rate. Normally my heart rate's not resting at around 100 beats a minute, I can assure you. But I've got a few nerves this morning because we're going to try and push some distance. Going to try and get to 13k. So we'll see how that goes. So just setting up still, just putting the batteries in the vent at the moment. Running two 3000 4S. So we've got 6000 milliamps in total, which should in theory just about be enough to get where we want to be and back. And this is all a dry run, excuse the pun, Neil, a dry run for something that we want to try this summer. Thought it would be best to actually test it out before going for the real thing. So we should have an on-screen display. So I've just got to wait for some satellites. Remove the lens cap. So this is Flying Wing Venturi using the Ruby OSD and autopilot. Quite like the Ruby, although you do rely on one guy in the States to set it all up for you. Got the satellite lock already, which is good. Just test video on the ground. Got video on the ground. So the next thing you have to do is do a flight check. Test all the systems on the plane. So it's just moving the controls in a certain direction, and it gives you a test. It gives you an okay basically to fly. So I'll just move this over here. It's going to be interesting landing. It's quite overgrown. So we'll see what happens there. But worry about that if and when we get back. So we've got an okay to fly, and that sets the home position as well. It's really overgrown actually. Could be interesting. So, let's check everything's alright. So, crapping the lens. Good shot of my boob, yeah. That's all working alright. Okay, so Ruby's got a launch mode. Basically, you just put it into attitude mode, give it full throttle, and it tries to keep 60 kilometers an hour of airspeed. and it will just vary the pitch to keep that 60, and pretty much it will go up almost vertical at that, so I can back the throttle off to lower the pitch, lower the throttle, and it will just maintain that 60 k airspeed. So we'll flick that to aided, turn the GoPro on, wake up the neighbourhood now, which is a bit loud, but see what happens. Right, okay, here goes. Okay, got the goggles on, flicking to manual now. So, here we go. So my plan was to cruise at around 100 metres or so. I'll get down a bit. I can really feel my heart pumping now. I don't know what that's recording like. Yeah, so I don't really know what else to say. I'll talk about the OSD, I suppose. So starting top right with a little picture of the remote control and a bar graph that's showing the RSSI, well, the link quality of the Easy UHF that I'm using. So that should stay pretty much maximum. Moving across the top, then you've got compass ribbon, and there's a little cursor in the middle there. Now the cursor is quite clever, and that shows you the actual aircraft heading. If you've got a crosswind, then the cursor actually offsets to one side, and for me to then fly home, for example, you need to line the cursor up with the picture of the house, which is far off to the right hand side at the moment. So you don't line the house up with the centre of the screen, you line it up with the offset image to one side. The numbers in the top middle, compass heading. Top left is your GPS status, so that's looking pretty good actually. Underneath that where it says man is your mode. Below that's another useful thing, which is the wind direction and speed. So we've got a slight headwind, crosswind from the left hand side, 11 kilometers an hour. Below that is my battery voltage, 16.1 volts, and the amount of current I'm pulling is underneath that. So I've aimed for about 10 amps on this. Below that is my airspeed in kilometers an hour. So to work out true ground speed, if you've got a headwind, you have to deduct your wind speed from your airspeed. That'll give you your ground speed. Across on the right hand side, we've got your sync climb rate. So I'm just descending now to that 100 metres I was on about. We've just come up to 108 metres now, altitude. And then the other interesting bit on this OSD is on the right hand side. So I'll skip to where it says 3.1 kilometres, that's obviously distance from home. Below that is time to get home. So if I was to turn around now, everything being equal, it would take me 2 minutes 45 seconds to get home. And below that is how much battery I've got left at this current consumption. So I reckon I've got 31.5 minutes to get back. And below that is how many milliamp hours I've got left. So it would have started at 5.9, got 5.1 amp hours of battery left. So while I've been chinwagging, I've actually descended a bit more than I wanted to. That's fine. Just gently climb again. There we go, 100 metres. So we've got a little bit more of a crosswind here. You can see that cursor's moved over to the right hand side of the screen a little bit. So if I wanted to head due north, I'd just go left slightly, get that cursor underneath the N, the north. So I'm using 2.4 gig video. It's a 700 milliwatt immersion RC gear with the Team Black Sheep ground station. No tracker, just using a Yagi and manually pointing the aerial on the tripod. So that's 5k, 4 minutes 20 to get home, 29 minutes left of battery. A little bit of noise in the picture, got some Wi-Fi interference or something. Quite a noisy picture at the moment. I don't know why. I think that's a bit better. Bit of manual tracking. So IPL did a 13.5k run the other day. So that's his system fully tested. He used pretty much 6,000 milliamp hours to do it, although his run ended up being slightly longer because he has to box around a village rather than fly directly over the top. So ended up doing more like 29k total distance run. So hopefully I should have enough juice to do it. So I studied this route quite a lot before doing it, and it's quite nice to see a little landmark. So you've got that bunch of trees just in front, slightly to the right, which is like in an L shape. Good to spot that and see that on Google Maps. So previous PB is 8.3k, so not too far off that at the moment. 7k now, which is good. 6.5 minutes to get home, 27 minutes of battery. And this is all with a slight headwind, so we should get back a little bit quicker. Gently climbed up again, slightly out of trim. So it's gently climbing, so we're 150 meters now. Just going to move my antenna again a little bit, see where we're at, about there. Lovely morning. I've been doing some morning flights, if you see some of my other videos with the multi-rotor stuff. So nice and still, get the sun nice and low, cast some nice shadows. It's been really good. Nice way to start the day before work. So it's 8k now, so we're coming up to my PB. Everything's looking good, battery voltage is really healthy, 15.5 volts, RSSI is full still, or link quality is full still I should say. A little bit higher than I want it to be, but that's fine. Got 4.2 amp hours left and 26 minutes of run time. pitch is quite noisy now. I'm just going to move that around a bit. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Pitch is really bad all of a sudden. There. So it's 8.8k. So that's a new PB. Everything's looking okay. Climbed a little bit during that static. There we go. Bust through that. 9k. So our plan is to fly in formation for 13k. If we have static like that, it's going to make life a bit interesting. Trying to do that. Might need a higher gain antenna. So using a 11 dB TBS Yagi. Hmm. 9.8k. $10k, cool. Well, that's a nice round number if we have to turn around. Because altitude is the problem. Just gently climb a little bit, see if that makes any difference. Looking at my antenna, it's actually pointing towards the ground, which is a bit weird. The lobe on that antenna must be slightly skewed, because there's no way that's pointing at the plane. If I point it up towards the plane, it disappears, so I'm better off leaving it where it was, which is off to one side and pointing at the ground, interestingly enough. That wouldn't work with an antenna tracker, would it? So 11k now, 10 minutes, 50 to get home, 23 minutes left of battery, not quite used half the pack yet, 3.7 amp hours left. Healthy voltage, 15.3, reckons there's zero wind at the moment. Slight tailwind if anything, well, that's going to make fun coming home. If the wind swung round, it's nothing though. Breaking up again now. Just move that antenna a little bit. There we go. $12k. So all we need really is 12k. But it's always good to see how far you can get. And the picture's cleared up a little bit now actually. Probably spoken too soon, it's going to break up immediately now. Story of my life. So the ground here actually rises compared to where I took off, so we're not 185 metres above ground level. Doesn't even look like we're that high at all really. So that tailwind's picked up a little bit as we've climbed, so maybe the wind direction's slightly different the higher we are. That's at 13 coming up, there we go, 13k. 3.4 amp hours left, 12 minutes to get home, 22 minutes worth of battery, 15.2 volts. Still got a tailwind. Right, so 13.5k is turnaround point. And when I did the 8k, when I turned around, the video was a lot worse actually when I turned around, so I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen here on this turn round, but we'll see. We shall see. So there we go, 13.5k, 13.5 minutes to get home. So swinging it around now, I'm going to line up that cursor with the picture of the house. There we go. So that's us heading home. So it now reckons we've got an even bigger tailwind. Odd. 10 minutes to get home, 21 minutes of battery. Over half the battery left, which is a good thing. It's doing quite a lot of sums off of iPill's video. Worked out we need around 215 milliamps per kilometre range wise. Let's move this aerial again, see if we can get anything better. I don't know how well this is going to record on the ground, so I don't like static. We're getting a lot of static. Just getting glimpses of the horizon every so often. I don't know why it's worse coming home. The aerial's out on the wing. Can't quite see my home arrow. The picture's just a bit too crap. Really. I think we veered off. Right, I'm going to flick it into RTH once, twice. Yeah, we veered off. That's fine. Couldn't see shit anyway. So RTH sets altitude 120 metres and a nice cruise speed of that 60k an hour. There we go. Okay, after all of that. After all of that. 10k out. So pretty much flew 3k with no eyes, which is nice. Antenna's pointing at the floor, which is weird. But it works. Sort of. See if we're still actually recording anything. Well, it says it's recording. I don't really believe it until I see it. Right, once this picture stabilises, I'll get back on the sticks because it's cheating a little bit doing it like this. Okay, back on the sticks now, back to manual mode. Nice test to return to home though. So got 16, nearly 17 minutes of battery, 7.5 minutes to get home. 15 volts still. Only put in 9 amps. I can up that a little bit. 10 amps. So you can see how it's adjusting for this crosswind that we've got at the moment, with the cursor to the left hand side of centre. It's forcing us to fly slightly to the right of our target. So 2.5 amp hours of battery left. Only going to need 6 minutes of that 15 minutes. The picture's going a bit screwy again. It's funny when you turn around, it seems a lot further away home. When you're flying out, blissfully aware that you can't actually see where you need to get back to. Looks like I'm going to need a bigger antenna. And I always got told, it's not the size of it, it's what you do with it. I think I've been lied to. Let's hope this is all still recording, because otherwise I've got to do it again, because if you don't get it on video, it didn't happen. There's the FPV rules. I'm wondering if it's me that's interfering with it. So 5 minutes to go, 13 minutes of battery. Got altitude anyway, this thing will glide forever, proven that before. I had an issue with a bit of wiring on the motor that decided it didn't like being one piece of wire at the solder joint, and the solder melted, broke the link, killed the motor, and then had to glide quite a way home. Always good fun, keeps you on your toes. I've no idea even if this voice stuff's recording anyway. Could be just stood here talking to myself. I've probably got a crowd around me listening to me bang on about something or other. So 2 amp hours of battery left, 12 minutes of flight time, 3.5 minutes till we get home, 4.3k out. Healthy voltage, 14.8. Starting to get some familiar landmarks. I think I can even see my field, which is nice. Three and a half k out. Although I don't want to start talking about it, but because I don't want to jinx myself, now I've got to figure out how to land the damn thing. Because it's quite overgrown, so I don't want to damage anything in the long. It's like a mixture of grass and corn. So I might just concentrate on what you're doing. I might just have to stall it in, I suppose, plop it in, rather than have a load of forward speed. I think. I've climbed loads there as well. Oh well. So that alert battery scares the shit out of you when you're far away and that comes up, but actually it's really early. 14.7 volts, 1.7 amp hours left, and 10 minutes of flight time at this current, so it's nice and early. If anything, rather have that than it come up, oh, you've only got 30 seconds of battery left. So I tend to ignore it, and then realise that I've run out of battery after I've ignored it for 10 minutes. Watch out for the power lines. Can't wait for HD FPV, 0 latency, if that'll ever happen. Drop over the top of those. Let's do what this thing was designed for, skim the deck. So still. So nice. And she's home. She's home with 1.4 amp hours. 1.4 amp hours left. Brilliant. Right. Let's land. Probably a good idea to land with the sun behind. Not going to worry too much about the wind, because there is hardly any on the ground. I want to be able to see what the hell I'm doing. Heart rate's probably going to creep up now. Not the most graceful landing in the world, but home nevertheless. Sweet. Happy with that, other than this shit video at the end. But we'll worry about that later. Let's go and grab this thing. Turn the beeper on, because I can't see where the hell it is. I can hear it, I just can't see it. Oh, I can see a wingtip. Yeah, that wasn't my greatest of landings, I gotta say. Nearly chucked the GoPro off the front. Just put my finger over the noise. So the true test will come once I charge these packs back up. See how much the charger reckons I'll put back in them. But I'm fairly confident that the OSD's recorded that properly, so not too worried. Shut up with your face. No damage from that landing, other than chucking the GoPro nearly off the front. Tends to be a habit of mine, that. Normally involves a goalpost though, won't it? Ate the dirt slightly as well. Cool. Well, thanks for watching that. Hopefully this video comes out all in one thing. And I'll have to try again once I've got a bigger antenna. Bye for now.